Tomorrow marks 78 years since the United States was plunged into World War II by the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. For many Hoosiers who are no longer with us, the memories of that day are very real because they were there. Right now, we are taking you back to 2010 when RTV6's Norman Cox put a focus on their story.
More than 2,400 American military personnel were killed at Pearl Harbor that day, with nearly 1,200 more wounded. Jim DeWitt of Culver was one of the lucky ones. His supply ship was just entering the harbor when the air raid siren sounded. But nobody immediately understood what was happening.
Well, we thought it was just a sham because inside the harbor on Sunday morning they had simulated dive bombing attacks. So we thought this was part of what they did at the outer court because the radio was playing music over the intercom.
Soon enough, they realized the enormity of what they were facing. But DeWitt's virtually unarmed supply ship couldn't fight back or help anyone else. How did that feel?
Terrible, because they were dropping bombs and strafing us, and the second attack, we didn't know what was going to happen then.
Thomas Hill of Indianapolis was on a gunboat with an all-Hoosier crew tied up at Pearl Harbor. He had just come off the night watch.
I was just getting ready to eat one bite of French toast, and I took a bite, and the alarm went off. I ran to the bridge, and I helped with the ammunition for the 50 caliber machine gun.
Hill says the ship's deck gun shot down 2 Japanese planes, but officers wanted more firepower aimed at the enemy, so they put him on a crew whose job was to try and bring down the attackers using small arms fire.
I went down to the quarterdeck, and they gave me a Remington rifle and put me on the dock. And then I was shooting at the torpedo planes coming in off the stern of the ship. And I don't believe I hit any of them, but I tried, did the best. I was thrilled to even have a gun.
DeWitt and Hill's ship suffered virtually no casualties because they were small and the Japanese were going after the big targets, the battleships and the cruisers. But Paul Kennedy of Indianapolis was in the heat of the action. He will never forget the carnage and the blood.
The thing that I can remember today, on this Remembrance Day, as I remember, the 6 inches of oil that was laying in the water in the bay, and those white uniforms that were laying face down in the oil, there were dead bodies. And the motorboats go out and they pick up these dead bodies, and the Japanese come down and strafe them. That hurt. That really hurt. I never will forget that. But we prevailed.
And that is why these survivors, the veterans who have come after them, and the supporters who put on tributes like this feel so strongly about never forgetting this day.